There are moments in history that transcend time, etched into the collective memory of a nation. November 22, 1963, is one such day, a date forever synonymous with profound tragedy and enduring mystery. It was a day that began with hope and promise, only to descend into an abyss of disbelief and sorrow. The setting was Dallas, Texas, a city basking in the warmth of a late autumn sun. President John F. Kennedy, a figure of youthful vigor and charismatic leadership, was visiting the city. He was a symbol of a new generation, inspiring millions with his vision for America. He rode in a motorcade, a gleaming limousine moving slowly through the streets. The crowds were immense, lining the sidewalks, cheering, waving, eager to catch a glimpse of their beloved leader. The president, alongside his wife Jacqueline, smiled and waved back, a picture of grace and connection. The air was filled with the sounds of celebration, of adoring crowds, and the gentle hum of the motorcade. It was a scene of vibrant public adoration, a moment of shared national pride. Then, in an instant, the world fractured. A sudden, deafening sound ripped through the air. A sharp, violent crack that shattered the festive atmosphere. Then, an eerie, terrifying silence descended, broken only by the rising tide of screams. Chaos erupted, swift and absolute, forever altering the course of American history. 3 shots. That is the official account, the chilling sequence of events that unfolded in Dealey Plaza. But even that simple number carries a weight of complexity and contention, debated and dissected for decades. The precise timing and origin of each shot remain points of intense scrutiny. The first shot, according to many, was a miss, perhaps striking a nearby curb or a tree. It was a harbinger of the horror to come, a warning that went unheeded in the initial confusion. This initial sound often caused more bewilderment than immediate alarm. Then came the second shot, a devastating impact that struck the president. This was the fatal blow, a moment of unspeakable violence, witnessed by countless horrified onlookers. The trajectory and effect of this bullet would become central to the official narrative. Kennedy's head was struck with brutal force, a catastrophic injury that left no doubt about the severity of the attack. The limousine, once a symbol of presidential dignity, became a scene of unimaginable horror. The driver accelerated, speeding away from the unfolding nightmare. Panic erupted throughout Dealey Plaza, a wave of terror washing over the stunned crowd. Secret Service agents, their faces etched with shock and desperation, reacted instinctively. They scrambled to protect the First Lady and secure the president, their training clashing with the raw reality of the moment. The limousine raced towards Parkland Hospital, a blur of desperate urgency. The medical facility became a vortex of activity, a frantic race against time. Doctors and nurses, alerted to the incoming emergency, prepared for the worst. A team of dedicated physicians fought valiantly, desperately trying to save the president's life. They performed a tracheotomy, administered blood transfusions, and worked tirelessly. Every medical effort was expended in a desperate attempt to reverse the irreversible. But it was too late. The injuries were too severe, the damage too profound. At 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, the news broke, delivered with a somber finality. The announcement reverberated across the nation, silencing conversations and halting daily life. Kennedy was dead. A collective gasp of disbelief and anguish swept across America. The vibrant young leader, the beacon of a new era, was gone. The news was met with a profound sense of shock, a feeling that the world had suddenly tilted on its axis. Grief washed over America, a tidal wave of sorrow that united a diverse nation in shared mourning. The world mourned alongside, leaders and citizens alike expressing their profound sadness. A palpable sense of loss permeated every corner of the globe. In the immediate aftermath, attention quickly turned to a suspect, Lee Harvey Oswald. He was apprehended within hours, his name instantly becoming synonymous with the assassination. The speed of his capture added another layer to the unfolding drama. Who was he? A former Marine? A self-proclaimed Marxist? A man with a history of defection to the Soviet Union? He was a troubled individual, a loner who seemed to exist on the fringes of society. His background offered little clear motive for such a heinous act. Oswald was arrested at the Texas Theater following a confrontation where he allegedly shot and killed Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit. He vehemently denied his involvement in the president's assassination, proclaiming himself a patsy. His defiant stance only deepened the mystery. But the story, far from being concluded with Oswald's arrest, was only just beginning. His capture opened a Pandora's box of questions, suspicions, and theories. The official narrative would soon face intense scrutiny and widespread doubt. The world watched, captivated, and horrified, as Oswald was paraded before the media. His defiant demeanor and cryptic statements only fueled the growing sense of unease. The public craved answers, but only found more perplexing questions. The questions started immediately, almost before the echoes of the shots had faded. Was Oswald truly alone in his actions? Could one man, a seemingly unremarkable individual, have orchestrated such a monumental crime? These doubts began to fester. The magic bullet theory emerged, a controversial explanation for the multiple wounds sustained by both President Kennedy and Governor John Connally. This single bullet, according to the Warren Commission, defied conventional ballistics, leading many to question its plausibility. Its improbable trajectory became a cornerstone of skepticism. Whispers of a shooter on the grassy knoll, an elevated area overlooking the motorcade route, quickly spread. Eyewitness accounts and photographic evidence seemed to suggest a second shooter, or at least a different vantage point. This alternative theory gained significant traction among the public. Conspiracy theories exploded, proliferating rapidly in the vacuum of clear, satisfying answers. From the CIA to the Mafia, from anti-Castro exiles to the military-industrial complex, countless groups were implicated. The sheer volume of these theories reflected a deep-seated distrust. They still rage today, decades later, fueled by declassified documents, new analyses, and persistent inconsistencies. The assassination of JFK remains a fertile ground for speculation, a testament to the enduring power of unanswered questions. The truth, for many, remains elusive. In the wake of the assassination, President Lyndon B. Johnson established the Warren Commission. Its mandate was clear: to investigate the assassination thoroughly and report its findings to the American people. The nation desperately sought clarity and closure. The commission, led by Chief Justice Earl Warren, conducted an extensive investigation. They interviewed hundreds of witnesses, examined countless pieces of evidence, and analyzed ballistic reports. Their work was intended to be the definitive account. Their conclusion, delivered after 10 months of intense inquiry, was unequivocal. Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. He was identified as the sole assassin, firing 3 shots from the Texas School Book Depository. This finding aimed to put an end to the speculation, but many doubted. Almost from the moment the report was released, the public, still reeling from the shock, found it difficult to accept such a simple explanation for such a complex tragedy. The official narrative seemed to leave too many questions unanswered. Doubts persist to this day, fueled by subsequent investigations and the release of previously classified documents. The Warren Commission's findings, while official, have never fully satisfied a significant portion of the American public. The debate continues, unresolved. The assassination's impact was profound, a seismic event that reverberated through every facet of American life. It was more than the loss of a president. It was the shattering of a national dream. The optimism of the early 1960s evaporated. It changed America forever, irrevocably altering the nation's psyche. A sense of vulnerability and paranoia began to take root, replacing the post-war confidence. The assassination marked a turning point, a departure from a perceived era of innocence. A loss of innocence permeated the national consciousness. The belief in a benevolent, predictable world was irrevocably shaken. The assassination exposed a darker, more violent undercurrent in American society, leaving a lasting scar. It was a turning point, ushering in an era of skepticism and distrust towards authority. The events of November 22, 1963, laid the groundwork for a generation that would question official narratives and seek deeper truths. The nation's faith in its institutions was profoundly tested. The assassination cast a long shadow over subsequent presidencies and political events. Its legacy influenced public discourse, fueled social movements, and shaped the national conversation for decades. The trauma of that day continued to resonate. So many questions remain, swirling around the events of that fateful day. The precise sequence of shots, the possibility of multiple shooters, the motives behind the act, all continue to be debated. Each new piece of information seems to raise more inquiries than it answers. The truth, for many, still feels elusive, hidden beneath layers of official reports, conflicting testimonies, and persistent speculation. Despite countless investigations and analyses, a definitive, universally accepted account has yet to emerge. the full story remains tantalizingly out of reach. The mystery endures, a haunting presence in American history. It continues to captivate researchers, inspire theorists, and perplex the general public. The assassination of JFK remains one of the most compelling unsolved puzzles of the modern era. We must never forget the profound impact of that day, the life that was lost, and the nation that was forever changed. Remembering is not just about recounting facts. It is about acknowledging the enduring questions and the deep scars left on the American soul. The legacy of November 22, 1963, continues to shape our understanding of power, truth, and the fragility of life itself. If this caught your attention, the next video uncovers the events that changed everything. Watch it now to complete the timeline. Don't miss it for anything. Don't forget to subscribe for more value. Like, share, and smash the bell notification so you don't have to miss any update.